that I was more trusting before I was 6.
So many women, they just feel like I have to cook for my husband, I have to breastfeed my children, I have to pick them from school.
Because society expects
Then you
them
go
to.
home and you cry and you stop your career, you can't do anything, then you blame everybody. You took that choice.
Welcome to The Breakfast.
A breakfast where we unbundle top and big stories of the day.
Is vaccine the only way out of this pandemic?
No, definitely not.
Many Ghanaians just want a peaceful election and they are hoping there will be no rigging.
There is nothing bad in borrowing for infrastructure. The minister added that he was impressed.
Please come and see yourself what we are doing with the money we have borrowed.
It's very important. The way we brand ourselves is the way people will carry us.
It's just the driver of the two vehicles that were completely bought. This one was here screaming.
What do you recommend the government do to support this sector?
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayuame Sally, and today I'm joined by Isia Fodile.
Hi, Hottie.
In the studio.
Hey, Hottie.
Hey,
Now I've been eyeing you since I saw you today. Let's not just go there. Hi.
Oh, it's not noticeable.
For those that do not have eyes, they will perceive it.
I have Maury. Maury, how you doing? Maury's joined us via Zoom.
Hi, Isi. Hi, Uwa. Hi,
Hey.
everybody.
I said salamu alaikum, Maury.
Walaikum salam. So before the show came on, I was asking you if you went for like a wardrobe revamp because you've just been stunting on us. Uwa, like
you can say that again.
The outfit. Unfortunately, we're not the same size, but girl.
She's got it.
I have a new stylist. My older sister is my stylist. So she's taking care of me.
It's showing. Well, you should pay her extra if you're paying her for seeing her handwork.
I'm going to meet Ufeko. Ufeko can't be
But
doing this to
I
you
think it's
alone.
more of, it's not really so much of the clothes. It's more of the person wearing the clothes.
Don't rub it in. Wow.
I think it's the clothes and the person, like you can just tell that obviously it was good before, but now it has just gone to like another level.
Hey,
I'm like,
in fact, I've told.
Small soap.
Small soap. I've told my designer DJ. I said, DJ, we can't drop the ball right now. We have to up our game because now everybody's looking forward to what Uwa is wearing. So let us make sure we maintain it. Thank you, Maury. But how was Salah? We've not seen since Salah. How was Salah? I hope you had fun. We saw pictures.
Maury, I'm upset. You've not invited us over for Salah. It's not fair.
She's not the one that invites people.
Okay.
That one is still coming.
Okay, please, I'm booking down.
That one is too much.
Please call me.
I
will come.
All right, so today we have an interesting conversation. It's our ladies' night out, and here's what we found as today's quote. Being a single parent is not a life full of struggles, but a journey for the strong. I mean, this is so apt. When I saw this quote, and again, just opposing it with the conversation that we're having today, you know, it's not a life of struggle like people try to paint, you know, but it's a journey, you know, and you really must be strong to be able to parent a child, you know, by yourself, you know, either both father or mother. Yeah. All right, so a single parent is a person who lives with a child or children and who does not have a spouse or a living partner. So what are their struggles and the impact on both the parents and the children? We hope we can finish this today because it's a wide conversation. So EC, Maury, and I will be discussing this. But first, let's take a break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways now. Each year since 1977, ICOM has organized the International Museum Day, which represents a unique moment for the international museum community. The objective of International Museum Day, that's IMD, is to raise awareness about the fact that museums are an important means of cultural exchange, enrichment of cultures, and development of mutual understanding, cooperation, and peace among people as well. Now, organized on the 18th of May each year, or around this date, the event and the activities planned to celebrate International Museum Day can last a day, a weekend, or an entire week. Now, IMD was celebrated for the first time 40 years ago. All around the world, more and more museums participate in International Museum Day. So last year, more than 37,000 museums participated in the event in about 158 countries and territories. So it's International Museum Day. Do we have very, very strong museums in Nigeria where people truly just go there to go and learn history and all of that?
I know we have in Lagos. We have the one at City Mall.
Okay.
And we also have another one. We used to have one in Benin. And I used to go there as a child.
Wow.
And I've also gone to the one in City Mall in Lagos State. Then when you talked about museum, I also remembered what struck me was when the Egyptians actually carried the mummies from the, what's it called, the pyramids to the museums, basically, to preserve them. Thank you, to preserve them. So I think it's supposed to be our heritage, and it should not be overlooked.
And that's why a lot of attention is always placed on Nike Art Gallery, for instance, because she somewhat is a semblance of a museum where you can go and learn about culture.
It's all about art.
Yeah,
basically.
culture and art. And
I think the first time I actually went there, I was amazed by what I saw because from top to bottom was all
everything.
It was overwhelming.
If you're an art lover,
yes.
you will be overwhelmed.
Overwhelming.
All right, so let's quickly dive into what we found in the news. Maury, we're going to start with you. Or do you have any museum that you visited in Nigeria?
I think when that was when I was maybe 13-ish. I think we went to school excursion, but that was about it. But I don't really think I like museums like that.
No, me, I love. But have you been to Madame Tussauds in London?
Have I been to the Madame Museum?
Madame Tussauds in London. Madame Tussauds in London.
No.
When you go there, when you go there, you will love museum.
You know, when you travel abroad, what you are looking out for is more of shopping and doing other things instead of
my children. They will not even let you.
I actually want to go to that because it looks fancy and I can take like.
Oh yes, you can take loads of pictures. There are wax images of different celebrities.
I thought that was in America though.
No, it's in London. It's
in
UK.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe they have in the US, but I haven't visited. The one I visited is in London.
There is one in the US.
All right. So, Mari, what did you find for us in the news today? Your story is quite an interesting one. I want to hear your perspective.
The video was trending, and I decided to check out what it was. Apparently, this aunt decided to pour kerosene on a little girl's head, and she lit the girl's head on fire and said that the girl was a witch. And the video was all over the place. But I saw that instead of the media coverage that was carrying the news to be focused on how horrible the act that the woman did was, they were talking about how Ahmed Issa, the activist, slapped the woman while he was interviewing her. Because I think I saw the video he taken. Who told you this baby is a witch? Why did you? Who told you this child is a witch? Why did you put fire on the child's head? You can say it was the work of the devil, and you do it back, but give her like 2 slaps on her face. And there was argument around. People were saying he shouldn't have done that. People were saying that he didn't even do enough. So I really don't know how I feel about mixed feelings. You know, a part of me is happy that he asked her because how dare you do that? But a part of me also see that maybe he should have been professional. But what do you guys think?
Well, honestly speaking, when I saw the video, first of all, I was taken aback how somebody would put fire on a child's head, you know. But now, of course, like you said, I mean, the media is focused on this guy ranting. But I want to say, in all honesty, Maury, I think he was wrong as well because two wrongs cannot make a right. You can't use violence to try to fight violence. I mean, this is what we talk about when it comes to jungle justice or taking laws in your hands. Of course, he was really upset. You could see the visible anger that it seemed like the lady was just taking them for granted and just lying to their faces and all of that. And he gave her, he gave her the slaps of her life, you know, and of course handed her over to the police, you know. But I think, Maury, he, the ordinary president, I think that's his name or something, he's also wrong in what he did. That because whether you like it or not, even criminals have human rights. Yeah. That slap was, he really entered. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be laughing, but that was a bad slap. And she, you know, she didn't see it coming. This is the kind of slap that will pull out your teeth. Oh, but I think it was a no-no. I would not accept that from him. No matter how angry or upset I am, I won't do that.
For
Yeah,
me,
you need to have some level of self-control.
For me, I think what I don't like about it is actually reflects our ignorance on how to handle issues and matters. Basically,
We don't know how to.
we don't know how to
dialogue.
We don't know how to dialogue. Immediately, we just go and
use our fists.
we use our fists to actually address any issue.
All right,
you know.
Isi, what did you find for us in the news?
Now, moving on away from this dastardly act against a child is about the birth of another child.
Wow.
And which is by Naomi Campbell, who just became a mother at 50, you know. And I'm so excited about this because she's always said she wanted a child, and but she was able to, you know, keep it under wraps throughout the period of gestation, basically. And I'm happy for her because she has a very weird sense of humor about this. She said that one thing about having a child at this age is that those that are her mates they already have children, and they are all grown ups. So anybody that wants a babysitting job should, you know,
available.
should come in. So I think that's a fantastic one for her to, you know, have at this age.
Yeah.
You know, for her,
It gives hope to people that are looking for children to say that, come, there's no age, it's possible.
And with science, you can do a lot these days. With science,
I mean, God bless doctors. Oh, I think we lost Maury. All right, so let me just quickly take my story. My story is quite interesting because today, you know, I told people I wanted to go and do my passport is expiring. So I decided to go on the portal because you have to go on the portal to do the registration because of COVID-19 and everything. I got to the point of payment until they say payment have been suspended.
Oh my God.
Till further notice. So that's the story I picked today, that the Nigerian Immigration Services has ordered the suspension of processing of new passport application in all passport offices nationwide. This directive, of course, it took place today, 17th of May, and was disclosed in a statement signed by the Deputy Controller General, that's A.B. Arima. The statement described the suspension as a necessary step to ease the preparation for the commencement of a new passport regime. So, I don't know.
What new passport regime?
I don't know. The directive, well, I don't know. I'm going to ask them because I was supposed to renew my passport, but it's not that far because all offices nationwide are advised to comply with the suspension, all applications until June. So 1st of June,
okay.
You know, it would
So it's just around the corner.
So from my own findings, when I called the people that I was supposed to go and meet to do my own passport, they said, okay, they have a lot of backlog. Apparently, Plan B, people are prepared, you know, getting their passports and all of that. So they want to actually clear off those backlogs to be able to have, you know, so makes sense.
Makes sense.
So, but one thing good that struck me, I mean, this is the first time ever I'm going on the immigration website.
And you got feedback.
You know, not even that. I saw the portal. They are warning you, do not pay. If you do not pay to the right portal. So I said, so it actually is possible to cut out, because before, something that is worth maybe 25,000, you have to pay 35,000 because you have to, you know, and all of that. So for the first time, I am genuinely paying the exact amount that is stated for the passport. I said, wow, makes sense.
That's not the problem. Wait till you get it.
Once we automate it, let's automate
it's
every
getting
system.
It as the problem.
We can actually kill corruption with technology.
Okay.
All right, so that's all we are going to be taking on What's in the News. So when we come back from the break, as we said today, we're talking about the struggles of single parents and the impact it has on the children and on the parents as well. So we want to hear from you. If you're a single parent out there, please, you are why we're talking about this. So please reach out to us when we open the phone line. So we'll see you after the break.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
He suffered equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 and they pay.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, reasons for becoming a single parent include divorce, breakup, abandonment, death of the other parent, childbirth by a single person, or single person adoption. Now, they say children raised by single mothers are more likely to fare worse on a number of dimensions, including their school achievements, their social and emotional development, their health, their successes in the labor market, and so on. Now, even beyond having more income, two parents also have more time to spend with the child and relatively gives a bit of balance in the life of that child. Now, tonight we're asking, what are the struggles of single parents and the impact it has on both the children and the parent? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at WadeShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WadeShow, or send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So,
let the conversation begin.
It's an interesting conversation, honestly, because of course, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, this guy that's always ranting on Twitter,
Reno,
came out to say he has no iota of sympathy.
Yes.
For single parents, it's only the ones that, that had maybe death of the spouse. And I mentioned one other one, I can't remember what it was. And people went at him that, oh, cool, calm down. Only for yesterday, a story broke that he abandons although they've come out to say he's come to refute it, that it's not true. But he abandoned his wife for a baby mama in the UK. So he's left the US for the UK to go and live with his baby mama that just had a child for him. So in my head, I'm saying, okay, you that were castigating single parents, have you not left a woman to become a single parent now on her own, taking care of the children? But that's not the conversation. We just want to have a conversation around the struggles single parents face, because it's a reality for us. I mean, I posted on Mother's Day, how I almost became a single parent. And some guy that could not read, was trying to respond to me. But of course, I don't have time for people like that if you're not able to be smart with your conversation. But, the truth is, there are different circumstances that can make someone a single parent. And, and truly, these struggles are real. But, what struck me when I was trying to do this research and the script and everything, I realized that single parents, even to find a quote on single parents, it's almost like you get like 5 or 50 single moms.
But not on dads.
You will not get single dad. But single parents is both ways. It's not just one person.
Exactly.
So why is the burden so much on the women when it comes to single parenting? So maybe let me start with you, then I'll come to Maury.
I think that stems from our society and our culture. And you also find a situation whereby we have people who find themselves with unintended pregnancy, basically. They didn't plan for it. And when they found themselves in a family way, what did they have to do? They had to tend for the child and take care of themselves.
So it's the woman that is carrying the pregnancy?
Most times it comes back to the woman. So you find women are the ones actually doing it. Then we also have to look at the aspect of women who are actually married to a man, and the man isn't playing his role in the family as a man. He's not taking care of the children. He's not doing anything. Thank you. So some women are actually married, but they're actually single parents. There was a joke on a woman who said, okay, if she was a widow, something like that, where that was way back. I don't know if I can recall the story, but the thing it came out like a joke. But actually, people are actually living through things like that, because in marriages where their spouses are not partaking or participating in raising up their children and caring for their children. So it plays, the society and our culture, especially in Africa, has made it relegated to the background that it is the woman that actually bears the brunt of single parenthood, basically.
Maury, let me come to you. Do you know any single parent around, or where is Maury again? This is our Zoom. We're going to give them fine. So
for me, another thing is this. I know of a single parent, and believe me, she did what a lot of women didn't have the guts to do, basically, by having a child out of wedlock. It took her some time, but she finally found the man who she's finally settled with. Now, in the course of her waiting for the right man to come along, men came with different proposals, and they were not good people, or basically they're not up to the standard that they're not the kind of men that you would have expected her to be with. So you see, single parenthood now makes women settle for less. Also, it also happens to the man as well, where he's looking for a spouse that would take care of his child or his children. And in the process of them doing all of these, trying to search for the right person or search for the right spouse, they tend to fall into the wrong hands. And when they fall into the wrong hands, and that's where the game actually begins. We have issues of social pressure. The social pressure based on the fact that, oh, you can't take care of the children by yourself. Single parenthood, you can't take care of the children by yourself. You need a woman, you need a man. The society always comes back to
play. Why though? But let me come to you, Maury. Maury, what's your take on, what do you think, do you know people that are struggling, and what are their struggles for single parents Can you hear me? I think you're straining to hear me.
Can you take the question again, please?
So I'm asking, we're talking single parents, right? We're talking about the struggles that that they face, the challenges that they face, both, on the part of the child and the part of the parent. So what's your experience like, for people, maybe someone you know and all of that?
Oh, okay. So I really don't know. Okay, there's no way that I can say this topic without being like a little bit vulnerable, because my parents were kind of separated. So my mom raised me. I mean, my dad was still in my life, but my mom, like, I was with her like all through the while. So I don't know if it maybe has like a societal effect on like your mental health, because I would go to school and you see kids whose dads will come and drop them. You see like maybe when mom and dad, and then it's just me. So like it kind of makes you, I don't know, grow before you even grow, because it's like there's so much responsibility on you, especially if you're like the only child, and like there's not like it's like a luxury lifestyle. You watch your mom like try to make ends meet, so you can't even splash, you can't be a child. There's just so much responsibility on you. You can't be spoiled, because I mean, there's always that. I feel like there's a role that the father plays in the life of a child that only the father can play. And I also feel like there's the role of a mom. So I have to, how when they give birth to you and you have to now rebirth yourself, I have to like learn many things on my own, because there were some things that maybe my mommy did the best, she tried, but there were some things that she left out, because things were just all over the place. And coming from, so immediately I had like my baby, there was a pandemic, right? So there was a lockdown. Her daddy was, I was in a different country with the baby. I feel like the only person that you can disturb without really disturbing is the father. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Absolutely.
Okay, without really disturbing is the father of the child. So it was just me and it was just her, and I'm not going to lie, it was difficult. He was there in every way but on Zoom. But like, if that he was there, I would have maybe been able to get like maybe 2 hours extra of sleep. And in America, they love their job so much. So it's literally, I was with family, but at a point in time, they had to go back to work. So it was just me and a newborn in a pandemic in a foreign country. It was, so I was just at that point, and me, I still had like support of my husband, via Zoom and internet. So I was just thinking at that point, women that don't have anybody to talk to,
your mom went
women that
through.
don't have anybody to nag to, because even nagging makes you feel like somebody to just say, oh, this, it makes you feel better. So at that point, I'm just thinking, how are these people coping? Like, how I have to do like an entire Instagram post just for women who are single parents with no family, with no partners, with no friends. They are going through is powerful. It's not for the faint-hearted.
Exactly.
You can't raise a child on your own. I don't think you're supposed to. It's a lot.
So let me stay on Maury.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you this question: how did the impact on Daddy not being around? Yeah, I know you mentioned. Oh, you can't hear me, Maury. Can you hear me now? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So I was going to ask you that, what would you have wished for, when you were growing up, because you mentioned, you see people.
What was my what?
What would you have wished for when you were growing up, because you said you would see people, their fathers would come pick them up in school. I mean, what do you think was the one thing you lacked or that was missing that you really, really would have wished that it was there for you, having both parents?
So because my grandpa was there, kind of like filled the spot, so there was really nothing, but it was just, I spent most of my childhood praying for my mom and my dad to come back together. Like I was supposed to be a child. I feel like my childhood was somewhat taken away from me because I had to like grow up, before I was even an adult and stuff. So it was just, I didn't even know then. No, I didn't know that was what was happening then. It was as I grew up, and as I started to like know things and then like read stuff and like do research. You know how you try to like find yourself. That was when I actually realized that I didn't think that there was no time to be a child. you know. And I think that's one of the ripple effects. And that's why, like, you grow before your peers, you grow before your, so, like, when your mates are talking biscuity, you are talking, I have to go home to go and make sure mommy is okay. And that's supposed to be daddy's job, you know. So, like, all those things it just kind of like affect. But I didn't know then, like I said, I had to grow to know that
that was what was
going
happening.
on.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I'll come to you, Isi. It's interesting what she's saying, because you see, and this is what I tell men, you know, and women in a relationship, because even outside of being single, there are people that are married, you know, but they're living, like you rightly said, as singles. It is the children that face it. The children have to feel the burden of, okay, is mommy okay? Is daddy okay? I'm trying to fill in that role. I mean, so if you have a good relationship with your partner or your spouse, it helps. And even for single parents, I think, you know, except maybe demise, maybe death, if it's a divorce, I mean, by all means, try to put yourself in the shoes of those children and settle amicably, so that, you know, even though you are not together as man and wife, you are able to still be a part of the child's life, so that the child does not miss out on anything. Because what you're doing is there's a further widening of that gap, you know, and the child begins to go through emotional struggles and all of those things. Even as adults, you now be wondering, where is this thing coming from? It came from somewhere, you know. But you were going to say something.
You've actually hit the nail on the head, because I was going to look at it from the perspective of when the children actually suffer a lot when they have their parents divorce. You know, when this happens, it actually leaves the individual or the child feeling, oh, was it my fault? Was it something I did wrong? I had a very close friend of mine who was a medical doctor, but he's late now, and there was something he had to live through when his mom and his dad, you know, got separated. And when this thing happened, it actually left a scar in his heart, because for a period of time he didn't get along with his parents, or his dad, to be precise. And his dad is late now, though, but it left a big hole in his heart and in his mind. It took a while into his adult age before he was able to get himself. And in the process, that affected him as an individual. This is someone that was always, you know, the best student in class. But during the period, he had to go through the divorce of his parents. He actually dropped academically. So the children are the ones that actually bear the brunt of all of this. And to a large extent, we do not know how the things affect the children until they become older.
And by then, it's almost like it's late.
It's almost late.
Wow.
Now, there is also another angle we can also look at this from, where we have individuals living together, and the man is abusing the woman, and the woman is the one managing the emotional needs and also managing the family at the same time.
Let's not talk that one. We will bring that one back. You know what? We have to go on a break. Okay. But we need to open the phone lines for our viewers. I mean, I just really hope that we can get people that are currently going through single parenting. Just tell us your struggles and tell us how we can help. Because I'd like us to have like some kinds of solutions by the time we're coming back, you know, from the break. How can we help to make it better, you know, for you? All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, Abi.
I am not hungry. If I need appointment, all I need to do is to start praising government.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let anybody come and say. The moment we stop having charlatans occupy political offices, we will curtail hate speech.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, it's our ladies' night out, and we're discussing single parenting and their struggles and the impact it has both on parents and children. Now, if you are single, as I mentioned before with the break, please let us hear from you, because this is why we're talking about this today. We want to hear what you're saying and how we can help you. So remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at WadeShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WadeShow, or you send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone line is open as well. Is now open. Please, when you're calling, try to keep it within a minute and turn off the volume of your television set. All right, so before we went on a break, you were going to talk about, the impact it has on parents themselves, on the parents themselves. I would love to also hear Maureen's, let's hear how it also, maybe when you were watching your mother, were there nights where she was just crying by herself and all of that? How did it impact her, that separation, becoming a single mother? So maybe let me come to Maury first. Oh, sugar. Maury, hold on. We can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself, whatever it is that's happening. I need to hear this. Okay, so let me come to you, Isi, while Maury is trying to hear.
Okay. So basically, the effect it has on parents themselves is finances. There's a lot of financial struggles that they tend to.
You think so? Naomi Campbell, hold on.
Majority. Naomi Campbell is just one off.
Yeah.
A number of people. So we have, she's already made. Okay, but there are people who are not made and they find themselves in this situation and they tend to have to face it. Yeah. Financial struggle is real for them. Okay, remember there was a time we had a lady on the show who was a single parent.
Yeah.
And she was saying she needed financial assistance.
Yeah, that was the major challenge.
That was the major challenge for her. So basically, that's number one. Number two, the societal pressure which we tend to put on them was that it's a stigma for you to be a single parent.
I know, leave that. Even when you go to fill forms and all of those things, it's always tough,
Yes. So basically, when we find ourselves in such an environment like that, we tend to take a lot of things for granted with these individuals that are going through all of this, because we do not know the emotional well-being of these individuals, and we think that they're just promiscuous or not well brought up.
And that was
people.
The anger that angered people when Rino Amoke
totally
made that
wrong.
statement. So I get his moral where he was coming from when he was saying something about the rate at which baby mamas are exploding these days is becoming alarming. But it is so rude and wrong for you to just judge, and say that you can't pity anybody that's a single, mother.
He has one himself.
Like,
so
it's crazy how you say those kind of things, But if Maury, are you back now?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, so go ahead. You were going to say something to us about,
Yeah, you were asking me if I saw how it affected my mom, and I was saying that she was. I don't think that she let me see it if she ever cried. She toughened up, so there was no time for pampering. Do you get? So if I'm like having maybe if I was sick, for instance, obviously she would get me drugs, but there's no put your head on my lap, let me pet you, use your drug and sleep and wake up, because she had to go work. And that's where I see where Issy was talking about when she said financial struggles, because if that maybe there was a lot of money on ground, and hey, maybe it should have shown smaller, because now she's growing, or she has grown and we have moved past all of those phases, and I see that she's actually vulnerable, she's actually moist. So I'm like, where was all of this, But she can afford to do all of that now because she has peace of mind, and she's no more struggling as
before.
But I think that she was just no time for relaxing. Next hustle, next this, because it was only her, and she had to make ends meet. And like I said, my dad was involved, but it was far away. It was in the 90s, before you send money from London to Lagos, before it would get there, before you call London to Lagos, you have to go and stand. It's different from when,
now
he's around, he's together, he's in the next room, So he did his part, but it was different. It was not the same.
I was going to say to you, Maury, because I was talking to Issy earlier. I don't know if you heard me. Why is there why is there so much burden on single parenting on women? Is it because we are the ones that house these babies in our tummy, or I don't understand why it seems like even I mean finding a quote today. For 100 quotes, you only find maybe 2 that had. If I don't think I even saw anyone on single fathers. It was more on. So it's single parents. Then 98 would be on single moms. You know. So it's out looking like it's a mom thing. Is single parenting a woman's thing? Is it something that it's a woman, or is it because we are natural nurturers? So if we have to go our separate ways, I would have to be the one to nurture the children and all of that. Is that why it's so? Or is just something that we've just accepted? I wanted to hear Maureen's perspective.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I feel like that's why we have like 200 Mother's Day in the year.
Thank you. Tell them.
But to start with, I think it's because we're natural nurturers. Do you get? If you are having, I feel like God could have just decided that just sleep, and then at 2 a.m. you don't have to go through the stress of pushing the baby there. But He made you go through all those. You can't go through all of that body change, all of that emotional, psychological, physical, to carry a baby and just not be as involved. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I feel like there's the connection that grows during the process of birthing the baby. It's something that is supernatural, and you just feel like, it is your duty, because although you and your husband maybe have directly through you, so you maybe feel like more sense of responsibility in catering for the child. That's what I think. Because I would have conversations with people, and they would be like, if it comes to it and somebody has to stay at home, I say I will stay at home. Like, even if my husband wants to volunteer, I will stay at home. I want to be the one involved, because I feel like I can do it better. I know the child better. Like, from the tummy, I know she's going to kick at 2 o'clock. Do you get? I know when she came, I know what cry was sleep cry. I mean, to everybody, cry was just cry, but I know the sleep cry, I know the poop cry, I know the diaper
Hunger cry.
There's some things that only me know. So I would rather be the one involved, and then staying at home and sacrificing all of that than have my partner do it. And I think it's only because it was like she grew in me. She came from me.
I understand.
It's spiritual, the connection, unexplainable. Yeah.
It's spiritual. All right, so let's quickly, because before we know anything, we're going to run out of time. I want to understand, so how can we help? Right, because I mentioned it before the break that we need to understand that this thing, whether we like it or not, is inevitable. It will happen. People will become single mothers, people will become single fathers and all of that. And, how do we help them? I love what you talked about, societal pressure, because a lot of people are being pressured to, and I don't think it is okay for you to be a single parent, right? It's okay. Whether it is even by divorce or whatever, or you are the one that use your 2 legs to walk away from the marriage that you not do again. It's okay to be a single parent, so we should stop stigmatizing. So how can we help? I would prefer, so for me, if I want to say start point is policies. The way they are giving human rights and all of those things with policies. So if I want to apply for visa for my child, why must I seek father's consent? Why? Why can't I go, so it's not becoming so, and marriages. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the visa one, I think that one was for security reasons. So if you're able to maybe provide proof, because some parents are crazy. You want to carry the child out of the country without the father's consent.
Exactly. I understand.
To prevent things like that, that's why they ask you. And then you can. There's always room to explain yourself and say maybe you are divorced, or the father is this, and you have, as far as you have proof. So that visa one, I think, is quite.
I understand you. I mean, it's security, definitely security. But if I tell you that, let's even. So I'm also talking about from the point of marriage, where a girl that never saw her father, you tell the person, you have to go and produce a man, that never raised you and all of that. Why do we always have those kind of? So how can we help, to change some of these things, to be able to make it easy for people to just be single and raise their children in peace? Let me start with you.
Make it simple so that they can be single and have
children. But it's
because the way you just portrayed it now is like, everybody can do it.
Okay, so would you rather have me be in a miserable marriage?
Of course
not. Because I don't want to be a single parent?
Of course not. I'm just saying that we're not encouraging it, but we are looking for solutions to those that have found themselves in that
so let's find the people that have
predicament.
found themselves.
Okay, so basically, I would say that the solution is going to start with the individuals themselves, which has to do with the single parent themselves. They should learn to educate their children, talk about the social ills, the effects of what they are going through. They should be open to them. That means that they're giving them the concept of role modeling. And in that concept, what they're doing is, don't do the same thing I have done. And even if I have found myself in this position, you can find someone who is of a given particular or a given a better spouse than what I have. If it's in a divorce situation, if it's unwanted pregnancy situation, you can look out for individuals that you do not want to find yourself in such a position.
I think any woman that keeps a pregnancy that the man says he doesn't want, she's a very courageous person.
Absolutely, totally.
You know, she's not
Totally.
being a coward
Totally.
and shying away from her responsibility.
Totally.
She's owning up to her mistake. You know, a woman. Of course, I'm talking from experience.
You know? And maturity too.
Yeah.
A lot of maturity.
But let me come to Maury before I make my final point. So how do you
courageous part? A lot of time, the courageous part. A lot of time, when a woman decides to keep a baby without the consent of the dad, or if the dad says he doesn't want, a lot of time these women just think that, oh, maybe I'll give birth and I'll do this. They don't know that it takes way more. That is when you would have entered. That's why you see some women regretting. You would have entered this finish before you know that this thing that you set yourself up for, because it's a lifetime job. You don't have breaks anymore. Even your bathroom break is, you can't, that you casually go and pee. You can't even go and pee without one small rat following you at your back to the toilet. Things like that. And then there will be a point where you just sit down to yourself and say, who sent me a message? So a lot of times it's not even courage, it's that they're not informed. They don't know.
If you count the cost, you will not go through that journey. So you just don't worry. It's better to go ignorantly and try.
Another thing I think we should also do.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I think we should also set up agencies, basically, to also encourage women who have found themselves in this position in the society, not a situation whereby we stigmatize them. We have different women organizations or agencies that assist women who have been in some sort of domestic violence situation. So we can also have organizations like this, what's it called, NGOs. We also have things like that. We need NGOs, organizations or government agencies that can assist women that have found themselves.
So this comment came in. It says, hi ladies, this is a very interesting conversation that you're having. Currently, I'm in a battered relationship and I really, really want to leave the marriage. I have 3 children, but I am so afraid that it's going to, I do not have any form of support structure. What do I do?
That's where the government agency comes in. It's just as if she just took the words out of my mouth. Well, if we have agencies set up to assist this woman, she would be able to, have a shelter or somewhere to go to.
Did we say Elsie? We have Elsie on the phone. Sorry. Hello, Elsie. Is it Elsie?
Hi, Owa.
Hi.
Okay, so this is one of those nights that I wish in the studio, right?
Oh,
but I'll just do a quick contribution for 1 minute.
Okay.
So I think that when it comes to single parenting, it's something that is very inevitable, right? And going on from that as well, I hear Maureen talking about deciding if she wants to keep the child or not and understand the responsibility that comes with this. But we must not forget that we're living in a country where abortion is not even allowed. Like, they're not giving the option except you according to them, it's a health risk for you or they're going to die, right? So it means that you have to bring the child to this world and you have to take care of the child. Mistakes happen, people do things, and I like the word that Issy used when she called it unintended pregnancy. things will happen, people will get pregnant. I think the conversation should really be how do we become more encouraging and more helpful to these people? What is going to be the support system? How are you going to encourage them and help them to be better people, not segregating them? I like what you talked about the visa, and I like that Maury also understands like the security case.
Of
Yes,
course.
but there's so many things that women who are single mothers cannot get access to because they are single mothers. They are the ones who stood up to take up responsibility and take care of the child. Why exactly are they the ones being punished? We also have a gender equality when a single father is afforded, you're doing something amazing. How were you able to cope to nurture a child that you brought into the world? But a woman is just expected to cope and bring the child to this world. You know, so I think the society should begin to embrace these women, understand them. This is not just about single mothers now, both single fathers and single mothers, and give them the support they need. If they find a partner, fine. If they don't find a partner, these children will be fine. I'm a product of single parenting as well. Like, I'll be being the case that, yes, my dad died, but it is just what it is. I understand the struggles. I understand going to school and thinking, oh, I don't have a father. But like Maurice said, you will do a pattern to happen. The human being that became a parent as well also have their struggles. The parents are struggling. The child is struggling. The world is not fair. If the world is fair, we'll not be having this conversation. So I think this is where I'll just say, well done, guys, and then I'll see you in the studio tomorrow.
By the grace of God. That's amazing. Who knew? We were going to talk about this topic. We didn't know we had a lot of single-raised children. Honestly, I mean, but I think it's a conversation that I would love to bring back again. Yeah. And I would love to hear, because for me, it was important to hear from people that, you know, you've lived through it. Because there's no how my experience and Maureen's experience can be completely, because I still have my parents both together, even up till today. You know, so, I mean, it's something that, you know, it's happening. Death is taking away partners. Divorce is happening is on a rise and all of that. So it's something that I would just wish we can just stop, because I know, like Elsie rightly said, there are so many things outside of visa, outside, you know, there are so many things you cannot do to apply. I know some schools that will say father and mother must be present before they admit the child. Do you understand? What if we're divorced? We can't. So because of that, I have to find a different school. What if this is the school I want my child to go into? So, I mean, there are some things that you just make it easy. It's not like we're encouraging that more people can just go ahead to be single. But you know what? There are women, and this is what I think maybe we should talk about on Thursday, women in marriages that are suffocating them. You know, they are not able to even have that clarity to be able to raise their children in a healthy environment. What do you advise that woman? I mean, like the person that is anonymous. How do we help her out of this situation? How do we support her? Instead of, you know, she needs to leave that place for her sanity. She needs to be alive to be able to take care of the children. So how do we help her? So those are the kind of conversations I think, you know, would make sense, and I wish we were able to bring it. All right. Oh, Sugar, we have some more comments. So let me just quickly send Raphael's own to you, Issy, while I take this other person. Please, when you're sending in your message, try as much as possible to send your name. I only know Raphael because he's, you know, constant and all of that. But Raphael, always add your name as well too. So, okay, the man says the issue of single parenting is often given lots of sympathy than usual. No man will accept a lady's parent to be a major player in his relationship by giving their girl wrong advice. Parents should learn to stay out of their daughter's relationship. Men anywhere in the world hate being controlled, whether in the US or not. It's not a black man's thing or Nigerian thing. I don't understand. Is this single parenting we're talking about, or we're talking about controlling men? I don't understand your comments. All right, so you have Raphael's comment.
Mine is from Raphael, and he says the single parenting has great impact on children, both positively and negatively. But the truth is that mothers usually handle situations better than men. That's why mothers are from a different planet and they are unique.
Oh, thank you, Raphael. We feel special. We're from a different planet, you know. Please, that's why we have plenty Mother's Day. Anybody that is talking, talk to the hand. Let me quickly take, Maury, your final comment, then I'll come to you, Issy, your final comment. Yeah. So how do you want to encourage single parents out there? You know, what do you think we can do to help? In 1 minute?
Well, What, can you take the question again?
So I said, how do you think we can help, you know, more single parents? How do we encourage them, like in a minute?
Oh, well, I think people should just generally be less judgmental, you know, be more receptive. If you see like a single mom, have you been in a plane, just you, a woman, and your child, and the child starts to make a fuss? The way that people will turn and give you, because with Pfizer, and she was maybe crying at a point, you see that they will eye them back, you know, I will eye you back. So I just feel judgmental, just be a little bit, you know, maybe kinder, and I don't know, just be kinder, yes, in general.
Absolutely. How about you, Issy?
Well, basically, what I would say is this, that the society and our culture has not actually helped single parents in any form or in any way. So I think it is high time we change our mindset. You know, I'm a fan of mindset. Everything to me is about how you change your mindset, you change your culture and your perspective towards things, especially societal issues that affects people negatively. So it is high time we actually change our mindset and our perspective towards single mothers or single
All right,
fathers.
so for women that are going through hell in their marriages, I would advise that, you know, the best thing for you to do, because you need to be sane to be able to raise sane children. I mean, we can't keep having this ripple effect all the time. And for men, men and women in relationship be a lot more communicating. Then if you have to go your separate ways and divorce or whatever it is, it's fine. But have a very, very cordial relationship so you are able to manage and build a strong child that is emotionally balanced so we can have a better society. All right, so Ways was birthed. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Elsie. And the contributors, thank you so much. Ways was birthed from the need to inform, inspire, and influence lives towards action. And this year, we started our CSR focus on curbing unemployment in Nigeria. If you're a company, please partner with us by allocating internship slots. And if you're a job seeker, keep watching Ways and follow us on all our social media handles, as this will be an all-year-round engagement. So tell your friends to keep all eyes on Ways. So in case you missed today's quote, here it is again. Being a single parent is not a life full of struggles, but a journey for the strong. So to all the single parents out there, we love you and we say stay strong and stay healthy for the sake of your emotional well-being. We'll see you live tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Our Voices. I am Orion Itangishaka. On today's show, we'll hear from African women who are using technology to better their lives and their businesses. It is part of an exciting new multimedia series called Startup Africa, co-produced in cooperation with our affiliate partners, Channels TV in Nigeria, City TV in Ghana, KTN in Kenya, NBS in Uganda, and RTV in Rwanda. The series focuses on tech startups across Africa. But what is tech startup and how do you make it work? Here's what some people told us.
Startup, for me, I understand, is where you want to start up a business. You come up with a plan, an idea, maybe where you want to have your business and what you want to do.
So startup is like when you are starting your business or an idea that you have and you want to put it in practical way.
Definitely you have to address a particular need. You have identified your market and you've seen a niche, so you have to bring into your startup to fill that gap.
The startup phase is when you have dreamt of an idea to be able to solve a certain solution in the community. You bootstrap the process, and then you get to the point where you have a viable product or viable service that you're showing to people. Once you're making an impact in the lives of people, you're solving a specific problem. That, for me, it's just the beginning. It's a startup.
Uganda technology and skill consultant Ruth Musoke Benzika has some of the answers.
For anybody to have a very successful startup, first of all, you must have the vision, the courage, and the ability to know that you fall, but you can raise up. If you don't have that, it doesn't work. Because, if you're starting up something, you are beginning from scratch. You're trying to reinvent something that probably has not been done before, and a number of times you're going to get people who will tell you it will not work. Some will tell you it is not possible. Some will tell you it is not of this time. And it means that you really need to have that strength to say, this is what I want. You need to be able to see far more than what other people can see.
Catherine Karimbo Gichungin had the courage to say yes. The Kenyan entrepreneur launched her startup, Raid and International, to help people in the informal sector better advertise their skills and find more work. Here's her story.
Red and Directory is an application that is available on Android and enables informal sector to be seen on the internet space. It's an application that delivers all skilled workers, both informal and formal sector, onto the internet space. So they're able to be seen on the internet. Data is bigger than oil. It's what will enable us now build an informal sector bank that enables us alleviate the problem of the betting and the loans and all that. And when we are looking at employment, we'll be able to source and enable counties to solve the problem of unemployment, because we have a business model that targets both employing the informal sector and also building the jobs as we speak. So right now we don't know how many nurses in our county in Nairobi. We don't know how many electricians are in Westlands Market in Kamukunji. We don't know how many people are panel beating the pans. We don't know, but this platform will be able to give us that information and that data to help them better, give them loans, and data is everything right now for the government.
I've been Radiant Directory from around 2015. I choose to go to ladders, just open the phone, open the app, then Google what you want and get the assistance.
So working in Nigeria, I met several other people. There was Dangote, there was Dr. Mike Adenuga, I've worked with Dr. Chris Kirubi. I could see them coming from humble backgrounds and making it big and impacting the society in a very, very big way. I'm trying to use technology, and I'm not telling them to self-register or download an app. They have no time, they don't have the kind of phone, and they don't have the money for data. So I'm going to them. I've devised a way from what I learned from my time in Safaricom and M-Pesa to be able to use that know-how to go out to the villages and form a network of agents that bring the informal sector to the internet space. So for you to become an agent, you have to have the passion to go out there and have the passion for the informal sector. So our agents are created on the back end of our system. So there's a business model. We are able to structure the fees. So we started with $2 to 200 shillings, so that is shared within the agency structure. So we recruit you, for example, and you become an agent. So you are an agency, and you are able to add 50 school Form 4 leavers under you, up to 100 if you like. So that creates instant employment, and it's Africans to change Africa. It's us Kenyans to do something. So I'm just doing something.
I work for Redant as an agent. My work basically involves going to the street, looking for new service providers. We register them so that they can acquire more customers through our online platform, that is Redant Directory. So far, I've been able to register 7 people. If I'm registering a customer, that is a service provider, you just pay 200 bob, which goes to the company through the pay bill, and that's all. You'll never pay anything else.
I want to join Redant Directory now so that I can spread the tattoo art. I choose Redant Directory just to spread, to get more market. I've interacted with some of the people on the directory of Redant, and the feedback was good.
Funding is not, it doesn't come easy. So I've funded using my other consulting services. So once I get some money, then it goes into funding the building of the code. Redant Directory is not yet profitable, so hopefully we will be a big brand. But everyone is trying to get into the informal space right now. We have a saying at Redant Directory: the fact that Ronaldo is a very good football player does not stop Messi from playing.
It's time to take a break. When we come back, we'll go to Kenya and talk to a female entrepreneur about how her insurance startup has changed her life despite the financial hurdles and organizational stress of her new business. Stay with us.
Being part of Our Voices is about more than just sitting here and talking about women's issues. It's about listening to them
and bringing their opinions to the table and making sure their voices are heard.
Because our lived experiences, our stories, and our voices will help shape the next generation.
Welcome back, you with Our Voices. When Ines Maina launched the Kenyan insurance startup Bismart, she learned that being an entrepreneur changes your life. Despite the financial difficulties of starting any new business, she says that her approach to life is now simpler. Let's look at her startup journey.
When I got into insurance, I discovered there's a lot of friction between insurance companies, insurance agents, and customers. And every day I kept asking, why, how can we reduce this friction? Because customers would complain. I get to know that I was not covered when there's a claim. And the insurance, from their point of view, they have given all the information through a policy document. So I needed to understand what is the real problem. Most of the young people have their income is not consistent. So how do we enable them accept insurance as a risk mitigation solution to their financial issues? And also, how can they access it hassle-free, conveniently, and at the comfort of their mobile phone?
Working with Bismart, I think I've loved their services. I don't get to deal directly with the insurance company. I deal directly with Bismart, which makes my work so easy because I just need to sit back and they'll handle everything else. We're in the digital era, we are in the 21st century, and things can be done in a better way. Things can be done in an easier way. So you find that if we have the startups that are bridging the gap, then it just works out very perfectly for the rest of us here.
The problem we are solving is actually in the insurance sector. The penetration of insurance in Kenya is very low, and actually in Africa, apart from South Africa, most of the African countries, the insurance penetration is very low. Now, when you look at the demography of Africa, we have a very young population. You know, median age, 19 years old. And the insurance has been selling the same old products, the same way, same distribution channels, but then it means they cannot access the current customer. My lifestyle has changed. It has become simpler and easier. You see, when you're employed, you're a bit extravagant because you see, you know that every month there'll be more money, and so you can spend as much as you can because there's more money coming. And of course, the things that drives you when you're employed are different from what drives you when you're an entrepreneur. When I was quitting my job, I thought that when you quit job, you need a big office, many employees, so that's a measure of success. Look at today, I think different. It's how lean can I scale my business? How can I scale my business without increasing my costs? So those are the things that I look at. One of my biggest challenges was the funding. When I was quitting my job, I had estimated that my savings would last me for 2 years. And before the end of the year one, the finances were over. Yeah. The other challenge was, you start this journey, you need a team, you need people who will believe in this dream, not because you're paying them a lot of money, but because they are here, they believe in your vision. And in 10, 15 years, we hope to have democratized insurance. When I say democratization of insurance, whereby it's an open market that anyone can get in and get, whatever products they want. And how we do that is that we're building an infrastructure that will be able to connect customers and insurance companies and, existing African social groups and institutions to all be able to pull their risks together. Our expenses were quite high. So I would lower the cost of running the business, start small and with the customers, designing with customers one by one without thinking of before scaling. I think the first one was to quit my job. That's very important. There is no worse decision. Yes, because even that decision has really taught us a lot. So I would say, for me, it's not about whether the decision is good or bad. It is a decision has to be made at the time it needs to be made. My mantra is, whether it is right or wrong, make the decision. You will learn the lessons as you progress.
Launching a startup often means finding investors who are willing to fund your vision. Here's what consultant Ruth Musoke Benzika had to say on some of the challenges facing young innovators.
A number of times when you're starting a business, and tech basically falls in there, it's very hard to find somebody who's going to finance a startup business. It's so hard. There are very few people who are able to do that, but there are people who are able to say, okay, if I find a very good idea, I can be able to put in some money, buy shares in the company. I can be able to there are some, they call them they are angels that are willing to say, okay, yes, angel investors, I'm able to invest in such a business. Sometimes it could be from your family. If you're a young person into tech and you go and talk to your brother and talk to your mother and say, mommy or daddy or brother or cousin, this is what I want to do, but I need you to give me a hand up. Give me some money to start. They are willing. Young people don't have a lot of capital. They have not yet built a lot of networks. And a number of times we are saying, start with a small core team. So we advise young people, startups, start lean, start small. Start small, but knowing where you want to go. The moment the business keep on growing, keep on filling the core strategic areas and the core positions for your business.
Uganda entrepreneur Hilda Asimwe says the core goal of her startup Digital Health Access is to improve African healthcare in bringing patients closer to doctors through a digital health network. Here's her story.
My name is Hilda Asimwe. Digital Health Access connects health service providers and professionals to patients through a mobile phone. What patients have to do is go on the app, check for any doctor they want to talk to, and consult or book an appointment. I actually started it in 2013 because of my mother. My mother developed a rare disease, started swelling all over the body. So we went to see a doctor, but the doctor gave us some painkillers, but the lady was really in pain. The whole night she was groaning. I searched the whole of Google, but I couldn't get anything. So it came to me like, what if I had these doctors, as many as possible, on a platform where I could chat with them? I woke up one morning and I quit my job. And I got a developer who I sat with in his house for the next 48 hours until the website was up. So that's how I started Digital Health Access.
For a unit like mine, which is a specialist unit, it's not a general unit, it's not like people walk in all the time. We want Cornerstone to be seen over the whole country. And even in our sector in Uganda, health is not advertised. We can't advertise ourselves. Then there's this digital health access, which comes in that we can link patients to the specialists, and that means also it brings in the issue of trust, that maybe the patients trust digital health access to do all the due diligence on the facility, on the specialist, so that when the patient goes through digital health access, he knows I'm going to get value for money, I'm going to really see someone who is a specialist and not a crook and what. And young people have a challenge, they fear hospitals. It's very hard to see a teenager just walking, and sometimes they suffer with these diseases and they don't know whom to talk to. This is the time to use the app.
Accordingly to our analytics, Google Analytics, actually more of our visitors are between the age of 18 and 28. So, and according to our analytics still, the most questions are asked about sexual reproduction. So I think we are more helping the youth in this case, because they're the ones who normally shy out to ask these questions in institutions. So they look at us as the easy solution. I think the most challenge is spending every saving I've ever worked for the last 30 years on this company. We put almost everything. I even sold even my car that I had got from my previous work. It gets tougher, but the good thing is that every call from a client makes it worthwhile. Every time you have a hospital registering and someone telling you we have an appointment, it makes it worthwhile. But as a company, success is when I have every small clinic, every small pharmacy, deep village, accessing digital health access to anyone, even those that cannot afford a mobile phone. I would love to have a system that connects the whole health system in Africa in one place. And I'm very sure in the next 5 years, we're going to be having the most interactive health forum. We're going to be having the most visited site.
Asimwe says she learned the hard way about starting small.
The hardest decision I made is to fire my 7 salespeople. The next day I came back to office and I was all alone. It came back to the same way I'd started. When I fired them, I didn't want it, but I had to, because I couldn't pay them anymore. It was the hardest. Actually, I was even thinking of taking a loan so that I can keep them on the team, but one great man said a company can never be run on a loan. I had to move at least like the next month, 3-4 months, until the landlord had to lock me out of my own office, where I spent almost 10,000 to brand. So now I'm working on the streets. So I have to meet these people in hotels. It has actually made me stronger. I've never been more passionate about this business like it is after they have locked me out. Actually, like, this lady does not know what she's doing when she was closing me out. I was like, I'm going to be the most important person in the next 3 years. And I may even buy this building one day. I know it is not easy, but vision never dies.
It's time to take another quick break. So do you know of any startup business on the continent that we should be keeping our eyes on? If so, let us know on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. The number is right there on your screen. Our handle online is @VOA Our Voices. Use the hashtag VOA Our Voices so we can find your comments. After the break, we'll take a look at how coronavirus pandemic is impacting entrepreneurs. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Our Voices. The ongoing coronavirus pandemic is changing all of our lives. Here's how the virus has impacted some of the entrepreneurs in our Startup Africa series.
Man, it has hit us hard. COVID has put everyone in a very difficult situation.
Never experienced anything remotely so cataclysmic.
Transport tech startups have been affected negatively.
I'll say the biggest thing that is frightening is the uncertainty. There's a huge level of uncertainty. We are seeing how people are responding. We don't know when we see the next wave.
The economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic is still unclear. And that uncertainty is bad for capital markets.
The business is, since the lockdown, it's been lower than, it's been on survival mode.
People are fearing health facilities because they think they might actually be at risk of getting COVID-19.
We are obviously uncertain times, but we've brought our company closer and our team closer together and forced us to really focus on what is important.
It's very important for you to have your own courage to say, yes, I'll make it no matter what. And even when I fall down, I'll raise up and walk and move ahead.
While most companies are losing business during the pandemic, analyst Ruth Musoke-Benzika says tech flexibility gives it a greater adaptability.
For me, I think that COVID has actually created a lot of opportunities for people in the tech sector. You can see that people are now more open to online meetings. Instead of coming to meet, people are able to go online and meet. People are more accepting to technology before, at whatever ages. You are now seeing more people who are able to say, okay, instead of going to a market, I would rather go online on an app and I'm able to order what I want.
The co-founder of Nigeria's Helium Health, Tito Ovia, says coronavirus is having an uneven impact across Africa startups.
We've seen from the healthcare tech industry like I'm in, there have been many innovations, many telemedicine solutions, contact tracing solutions that have come up to be able to help and fight the pandemic. However, fintech companies have actually suffered, during this point in time as, a lot of them make their money through, businesses and processing their payments and aviation. Agri-tech as well have also suffered in the time because, again, can they really now be able to reach the farmers that they need to? So it really depends on what tech industry you're in. Healthcare, honestly, I would say is booming, but we might find that definitely others have been suffering.
For Ines Maina, the economic impact of COVID-19 is reducing demand for insurance through her Bismarck startup.
The year had started very well until when the lockdown was announced. We actually had to close our office to cut on costs so that we can keep the business on survival mode. And insurance is luxury. We saw a decline in number of people who are buying new policies. So basically we were maintaining the old customers and some of them had to downgrade just to cut on the cost. However, it should be the other way because people need to protect themselves against the risks that face them. But that was not the case.
Ruth Musoke Binzika says innovators prosper by aligning startup strategies with changing market conditions.
For innovators, this is your time. Use COVID to innovate. Come up with solutions. If you have a very good solution, I am sure you will always find a funder. Importantly, keep your integrity. Once you have integrity and you have a good innovation, the sky is the limit.
That's our show for today. Thanks to our Startup Africa co-production partners, Channels TV in Nigeria, City TV in Ghana, KTN in Kenya, NBS in Uganda, and RTV in Rwanda. Look for the whole Startup Africa series on the station broadcasting VOA programs, including this station, or visit our website, voanews.com. Thanks for watching Our Voices. I'm Orion Itangishaka.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
Now 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, they go beat you. Now 2,500 they pay.